So guys, finally, the governor of Plateau State has come out to speak. This governor has been very silent all this while as he watched Fulani herders sack his communities and take over the communities, rename them, and started living as if the communities originally belonged to them, while his people languish in IDP camps. Finally, he has come out to speak, but he's saying that the security agents have to unravel the purpose of all this spying of his people. Now, the security agents, the chief of defense staff has equally come out to say it has more of a political undertone, that if a political work is not done, that this spying of the just people is going to continue. Nigerians, as it stands now, we don't even know where this problem is coming from. The security agencies do not know, neither do the state governor knows. That means the spying might end up continuing. I'm going to allow you to take a look at what he has got to say, and let me hear from you. What do you think about what is going on in Jos, and how do you rate the actions and the reactions of the governor? Don't you think that this governor has been sleeping all this while? Let me know your thoughts as I allow you to take a look at this video. Take a look for yourself.
To be honest with you, these attacks are not new. They've been going on for the last 10 years or more. It's just that they were never brought to national attention. In Bokos particularly, Bokos is one of God's gifts to Plateau State. Beautiful landscape, great mineral deposits, and so, but it's a very treacherous terrain. These communities that have been recently attacked were part of the communities that were attacked in 2023, but they survived it. They rebuilt themselves. The Rui community that was first attacked lost about 17 people in 2023. But they bounce back to show you the resilience of the people. Now, if these kind of attacks have been going on for close to 10 years, it tells you a story that there is a deliberate, conscious attempt to clean out populations, and for what reason other than to reoccupy. As I'm talking to you, there are not less than 64 communities that have been taken over by bandits on the plateau between Bokos, Barikilani, and Riom local governments. They have been taken over, renamed, and people are living there conveniently on lands they push people away to occupy. And these are things that we've been trying to embark on dialogue to make sure that these communities, these people return to their communities. But because of the proliferation of arms, which has become quite alarming, and I'm talking now not about small arms, it's real sophisticated arms in the hands of non-state actors, it has become more challenging for communities to be able to live in peace. So I can tell you in all honesty that I cannot find any explanation other than genocide sponsored by terrorists. The question is, who is the person, who are the persons behind the organizers of this terrorism? This is what the security agencies must help us to unravel. We must come to the point where we know the sponsors, because it is not just the work of ordinary people. This is being sponsored from somewhere. And I'm sure that in the coming days, the security agencies will work together, not at cross purposes, but in unison, to be able to bring out the requisite intelligence that will help us to put this matter behind us.
I won't say particularly that it's going to be a new strategy, because the fact here is that there are some issues that need to be resolved, politically. Because we can't rely permanently on kinetic approach to issues. So with that, I'm going to meet the governor of the state and deliberate with him to see how we can resolve these issues politically. But talking about our aspect of the job, we're going to see how we can enhance the security of this place by inducting more men, inducting more enablers, and maybe from there we'll take it on. I'm going to bring in more men, but the underlying factor has to be addressed, because even if you deploy the entire Nigerian army in Plateau State, if the underlying factors are not addressed, we can't achieve much.
Has there been any arrests?
Well, with the police, I think that some arrests have been made.
Just in a week,
on the 28th of March and the 2nd of April. Now, it happened in Boko's local government area of Plateau State, and specifically about 6 communities have been identified to have been directly hit by these attacks. Now, some of these communities includes the Mongo, Tamiso, Dafo, Manguna, Herti, Rui, and Tadai. Those are the communities that are being identified to have been hit by these attackers. And when they attacked, they were burning houses, bringing down homes, and from what we understand now, these are some of the facts that are coming in. We do know that about over 50 people were said to have been killed, and more than 2,000 people now displaced in these 6 communities across the Boko's local government area. In fact, it got so bad that civilians were shot. Residents' homes, including village head homes, were being burnt down by these assailants who will come in the dead of the night, kill, ransack the villages, and leave several people hospitalized, injured. Over 2,000 people said to have been displaced, 6 villages attacked, and over 50 people killed. What more do we know? Let's speak now to the Chief Executive of the state, the Governor of Plateau State, Governor Caleb Muftwang, who is live for us from just Plateau State. Our heart goes out to the people of Plateau State, the people of Boko's local government areas, and all of these communities, and we commiserate with your state. Governor, thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight. Let's begin the conversation. What more do we know as of now? We're understanding that the death toll may have even risen up to 80. What are the statistics? What are the figures that we have? What more can you tell us tonight, Governor Muftwang?
Well, thank you, Shehu. Thank you, Nigerians, for the outpouring of sympathy and concern over these dastardly attacks that have been visited upon the people of my state. There isn't much difference from the statistics you have. We are trying to refrain from being speculative at the moment. Yes, there are some corpses discovered in the bushes because people had to run away for cover. We want to plead with Nigerians to understand with us that by the end of this week, we would have taken proper stock. And if there are, we would release accurate figures as to the casualties, the deaths, the houses burned, and so on and so forth. But what I can tell Nigerians is that we have stepped up our surveillance. We have added more men to the areas, and we are deploying more assets to those areas. I want to place on record the concern of Mr. President. Even while he's out of the country, he's been calling to find out on a regular basis how we are faring. The security chiefs, like you pointed out in your broadcast, the CDS, the Chief of Army Staff, the NSA, the IG of Police, today we received additional men and enable us to be able to cover the area. The DIG operations is on ground, trying to ensure that we push back these forces of terror that have been unleashed upon the state. So it's very much what you have known for now, and we would take the next 2-3 days to do more stock taking.
Give us an understanding. What we saw, over 100 people were killed in December 23 or December 25 of 2023. And we saw that God forbid that kind of thing happen again. But here we have it. And it's a similar trend if you look at it in comparative analysis. Dead of the night, these assailants come into the villages, kill, leave these villagers without any kind of help that they can give to themselves in being able to defend themselves, and they go and no traces, no sense of what exactly could be the reasons for the attack. But as the chief executive, I mean, a lot of Nigerians will want to know tonight, with the truth that is coming out, you are the number one citizen. You are able to protect your people. And I know that your own local government have been under attack too in the past. And there are those who are saying, what exactly is going on the plateau? Who are these people? What can you tell us, Governor Muftwang, about the identity, the kind of traces, any shred of information that can give us an idea of what the intentions of these attackers could be?
Thank you, Sheol. Let me put this in context. This attack began in Rui, a community not too far from the local government headquarters. The people were observing a wake keep. You know, they lost someone and they were in the state of mourning, and suddenly they opened fire on them. It wasn't even in the dead of the night as such. It was late evening, and late afternoon rather, I would put it. And so it gives you an idea that these attacks were not provoked. They were not a reprisal attack. We have no report whatsoever that any of these communities looked for trouble before it was unleashed on them. So you begin to ask yourself, what is the motive? And at this point in time, I have no option than to conclude that these are terrorist organizations who have been unleashed upon the people. And what is the target? One thing we know about the land, the areas where these displaced attacks took place, and the people have been displaced, is that this is a very fertile area where a lot of food produce comes out from. It's also very rich in mineral deposits. And therefore, we've observed a pattern over the years where there are mineral deposits. There's a deliberate attempt to push out the people so that the land can be taken over. And also at the onset of the farming season, we've discovered a pattern where they come in, attack the people, and then destabilize them so that they cannot farm for that season. Where they manage to still farm, another wave of attack comes in during harvest. So these are patterns we have established over the years. What have we been doing? We have been trying to ensure that where they intimidate people, we go in, out, and assist them to cultivate those farmlands so that they don't lie fallow. And we have been using the agro rangers of the civil defense. We bought motorcycles for them. They go around these farms round the clock armed to try to protect our farmers. That is why, Sheol, from December 2023 till this moment, we were able to enjoy a spate of peace for over 1 year. Plateau has not had it so good. And then suddenly this attack came in. Now, these people sometimes masquerade as herdsmen, but where they are moving in with herds, and then we discover that they use the cattle as cover, carrying heavy ammunition, then it calls to question, what is the motive? Now, we want to thank God that this time around, the national outrage on this incident perhaps would give us a new lease of life. A few arrests have been made, and we believe that those arrests will lead to useful information that we can be able to unravel further what are the causes behind for these reoccurring attacks. We've been doing a lot in order to provide community harmony so that there is no mistrust among communities. And I think we have succeeded, largely we have succeeded. But this particular attack took us on the blind side. And honestly, it's quite devastating. It's quite disturbing, and we are doing our best to unravel what the causes are and see how we can find a permanent solution.
Now, Bokos local government area was also affected the last time in December on the eve of Christmas in 2023, including Barikin Ladi, and over 100 people said to have been killed in that. And now Bokos local government seems to have been the focus. Now, what we are hearing and what people of that community, what they are saying is that there are plans to wipe out a particular tribe, their own people, sounding as though there is a deliberate attack of intentions of genocide. As a governor, do you see this kind of pattern occurring? If Bokos was a part of largely attacked in December of 2023, a day before Christmas, and again 6 communities in the same local government area, it's just about an hour, 20 minutes drive from just the capital city of the state. Does it look like a genocide? Because genocide simply means wiping out a group of people. Does it look like there is a deliberate effort as an attack on this group of people?
Yeah, Sharon, thank you very much. To be honest with you, these attacks are not new. They've been going on for the last 10 years or more. It's just that they were never brought to national attention. In Bokos particularly, Bokos is one of God's gifts to Plateau State. Beautiful landscape, great mineral deposits, and so, but it's a very treacherous terrain. These communities that have been recently attacked were part of the communities that were attacked in 2023, but they survived it. They rebuilt themselves. The Rui community that was first attacked lost about 17 people in 2023, but they bounced back to show you the resilience of the people. Now, if these kind of attacks have been going on for close to 10 years, it tells you a story that there is a deliberate, conscious attempt to clean out populations, and for what reason other than to reoccupy. As I'm talking to you, there are not less than 64 communities that have been taken over by bandits on the plateau between Bokos, Barikiladi, and Riom local governments. They have been taken over, renamed, and people are living there conveniently on lands they push people away to occupy. And these are things that we've been trying to embark on dialogue to make sure that these communities, these people return to their communities. But because of the proliferation of arms, which has become quite alarming, and I'm talking now not about small arms, it's real sophisticated arms in the hands of non-state actors, it has become more challenging for communities to be able to live in peace. So I can tell you in all honesty that I cannot find any explanation other than genocide sponsored by terrorists. The question is, who is the person, who are the persons behind the organizers of this terrorism? This is what the security agencies must help us to unravel. We must come to the point where we know the sponsors, because it is not just the work of ordinary people. This is being sponsored from somewhere. And I'm sure that in the coming days, the security agencies will work together, not at cross purposes, but in unison, to be able to bring out the requisite intelligence that will help us to put this matter behind us.
So it looks from what you've said, Governor, that it's a kind of genocide, like you said,
Yes.
with the aim of land grabbing, because now you said there are occupation. There is some kind of occupation in the land where these people have been sacked. And what are these people, what are they doing? The people that sacked them, Are they cultivating or mining, or what economic benefits are they likely to get? Or is it to push the frontier of a particular tribal or ethnic or what kind of cultural nuance? What exactly the intelligence that you have is telling you?
Well, the intelligence at our disposal, particularly judging from those communities that were forcefully taken over and occupied, suggests to us that there are lots of covert activities going on in those communities taken over that we cannot even account for. Because I can tell you, even the security agencies are a lot of the times hesitant to move into those communities. Sometimes when they have attempted to do so, there's a lot of compromise in the system. And by the time they go in, everything seems normal because their coming had been leaked to those people. Now, we are getting to the point where we have lost not only just communities, we've lost educational institutions, we've lost health institutions in those communities, and people have had to move out. The culture in Plateau State is such that it's not easy to understand, to appreciate the number of refugees, because we have a culture of taking in our displaced people. So quite a number of displaced people have been taken in by their relations in other communities. And that is why it doesn't appear as if it is such a crisis. But the truth is that the impact is monumental. Now, again, who are the people? Very critical question, Shegun. Who are these people? What is their target? What is their aim? At the moment, since we cannot be able to go in and verify their activities are covered, and but what we know is that there's a lot of illegal mining going on in some of those communities, which is not accounted for, officially in the federal government data. There's a lot of illegal transmission of arms. Sometimes we hear from those communities, and it's quite alarming, and it becomes a safe haven for those with criminal intent. When they go into such communities, it's difficult for security agencies to go in and fish them out. One thing I must point out, Sheud, is the failure of the criminal justice system. In the past, people have been arrested, but they seem to have backers at the top, and they get released. This time around, a few arrests have been made, and we are determined to ensure that if indeed these are the right culprits, that they are truly brought to book once and for all.
Governor, I can imagine what is going on in your mind right now. You have the title, the chief security officer, the chief executive, the governor of the state, but it appears that there are some encumbrances, some things that are stopping you from being able to act in full capacity. I'm wondering what exactly you feel right now. If you have the powers, what would you have done differently? Because if you have occupation on your land by people who are unnamed and unidentified as of now on the Nigerian territory, non-state actors, how does it make you feel? Have you made an attempt at moving in?
Yeah, thank you, Sheud. This brings to the fore the national debate about state police. I am an unrepentant champion of state police. But that is not to suggest that the current security forces are not doing their best. I want to thank the Inspector General of Police. I want to thank the Chief of Army Staff and all the other security agencies. But you see, by their terms of engagement, they are supposed to react. They are supposed to react. It is on very rare occasions where they are allowed to be proactive. So when you even have intelligence that this could possibly happen, it is sometimes all they can do is to sit and watch until the attack happens. Now, this is why many communities are beginning to take laws into their hands. If we don't give them confidence that the state can protect them, then at the end of the day, they will find a way of protecting themselves, which we want to avoid by all means. That is why we have always believed in working through the conventional security forces.
But what about the vigilante groups? What about the setup, the state sponsored security network?
I was going to come to that. Even that, the Operation Rainbow, which the bandits have been trying to give it a bad name in order to hang it. It's a reinforcement agency. What they do is that they aid the conventional security forces. They don't operate on their own. They still have to work with the conventional security forces. What we are trying to do now is to give them more training so that when the conventional security forces do their bit and move out, at least they can hold the ground. Because these communities that were attacked in 2023, and there's a repeat attack, this time around, if they had a contingent of armed people protecting them, they would not be taken by surprise. And so, but we cannot continue to leave arms in the hands of non-state actors. That is why the matter of state police becomes very, very imminent. If we have the state police, we can deploy them as we want.
Yeah, quickly, and you are sandwiched as one of the states in the North Central region. You look like a landlocked state. You are sandwiched, and you are bordered by Kaduna, Bauchi, Taraba, Benue, Kogi, part of Kwara, part of Niger, and So the big question here, you tick the box for me in my question about the possibility of genocide, about the possibility of land grabbing, and these, you say that the tendencies are greatly present in what you see, and I want to know, who are these people? Because we used to think those years when attacks come like this on the plateau, the thinking is a farmer-herders conflict, and that's why they have come to for their land and all whatnot. But it does look to me that from your explanation tonight, it doesn't look like it's a farmer-herders clash. Who are these people? What tribe are they? What language are they speaking? Can we call a spade and say, these are the people? Because there is an international dimension which I will be asking you a question about, so that the world will know what we are facing and we can call a spade a spade. Who are these people? What language do they speak? Or are they one of you in Plateau State who have become terrorists?
Thank you, Sheol. Like you rightly pointed out, Plateau is landlocked, surrounded by Kaduna, Nasarawa, Bauchi. Now, a lot of these bandits crisscross from some of those states. You find that we also have boundaries with Taraba, with Gombe, and there is a cross-border banditry that takes place. Now, banditry in Nigeria has come to be associated with herdsmen, with cattle rearing. The two go together. They seem to go together. So, I have not met one of those people on one, but what people who have come under their attacks have told us, that sometimes these people cannot even speak any Nigerian language. That is the truth.
So there are some kind of aliens. They are non-Nigerians.
Some of them are non-Nigerians, but some of them, I tell you, they migrate from the northwest, coming into places like Bauchi. They migrate into Plateau, and then they seem to have in the whole North Central, I don't think, apart from Kwara, there is any state that is really safe, so to say. They seem to have taken over most of our forests, most of our waterways, and they continue to have a field day. And so what we need to do is to come to a point. I am a very strong advocate that pastoral cattle rearing is no more beneficial to anybody, neither the cattle rearers nor even the economy of the nation. We must move from that point and begin to have alternative ways of rearing cattle that is beneficial to us as a people as a nation. If we eliminate that possibility, then we will now know those who are inside the bushes, those who are by the waterways, what are they doing there? What is their motive? And we can be able to deal with their...
Governor Muftwang, quickly. So definitely, let's be clear. These people don't speak Angas. These people don't speak Birom. These people don't speak Hausa or Fufude or Kanuri or whatnot. And because some people in your state that I've spoken to prior to this conversation tonight, in my own journalist research for this program, there seem to be some people who are aggrieved, who name tag them. They said the popular language they hear from them is something related to Kanuri and the Fulani tendencies. You know, and that is very concerning, isn't it?
Yes, Shegun, I don't want to be accused of ethnic profiling. People who know me know that I'm not an ethnic bigot. We have operated in this state on the basis of fairness, justice, and inclusion, and therefore we believe that everybody has the right of movement and so on and so forth. But we will not dodge away from taking responsibility that the herdsmen, the majority of herdsmen, definitely speak a definite language, which is known to all Nigerians. Now, is it possible that once in a while you find an Angas man or a Mogavul man or a Birom man involved in criminality? Yes, it is possible, because they are human beings. And I can tell you, whenever we find them involved, we deal with them squarely. There have been a few incidences where the cattle belonging to Fulanis have been rustled by some of these locals. And where we find them, we deal with them adequately. We pay compensation, even for the cattle that have been rustled, so that we maintain peace. But this has become a matter that we must take up as a nation. The situation from Borno, from Sokoto, Zamfara, it is creeping into the North Central. It has become a national menace, and we need to find a way to checkmate this. There are many factors that have propelled this, and one of the enablers of this terrorism has to do with mobile cattle rearing. If we are able to find a solution to that, we will be able to deal with a large chunk of the problem, and then we'll be able to identify criminals for who they really are.
Are you worried, Governor Muftwang? And I'd like to ask you a direct question, perhaps, if you can just give us I mean, it's a fact, and a lot of Nigerians, without us deceiving ourselves, the kind of system that we run. Sometimes, do you feel helpless, Governor Muftwang, security-wise, being able to only handle things?
I don't feel helpless. I don't think helpless is the word. I feel frustrated. Frustrated in the sense that we put in all the effort. Since I came in, we've been holding regular security meetings. We've been motivating, mobilizing the security forces. We do all that we think we should do, and then these kind of breaches take place. Then it becomes frustrating. But let me assure you that despite the frustration, I'm more determined than ever that we must find a solution to this nonsense.
So one of the things that worries me, Governor, is, and this also happened in the northeastern region of the country, where you have a situation where gun-bearing, armed, deadly idiots, that I'll call them, because these guys are just crazy, killing people, innocent people. They just go on motorbikes, in their trucks, and they go hours on hours. They will attack without trace. Which area? Where did those witnesses? Where did they say they traveled to? Which part of the borders? Where did they travel? Can we just have an understanding of where? Do we have drones to be able to identify them? And they have border technology surveillance. Do we have a clue, or we are just as a country helpless that these kind of things happen without trace? We don't even know what happened. No CCTV, no trace, no technological advancement to be able to track what is happening, no shred of tracking of these people. What can you tell us about where these people went? What are the villagers saying? Where did they go to?
Yeah, first of all, their modus operandi is to strike with an element of surprise. So at that point in time, most of the villagers are scampering for safety, and nobody bothers to look at, okay, where did this person go to? What does his face look like? In a few instances, some of the villagers have identified one or two faces. You find that sometimes there are people who have lived in that neighborhood, but they are the gate openers to these attackers. And once they do that, they disappear from the community, and it's difficult to trace them because they are highly mobile. Now, but that being said, yes, we have invested in technology, but technology is not as if it's flying 24 hours in the orbit. It is sometimes when these attacks take place, that you launch the drones to be able to see the movement of these people, and depending on the resolution that those technological deployments have, you may not be able to see faces. You can see movements, but you may not see faces as that you can be able to identify. But we are intensifying the deployment of technology on a regular basis, and we're going to up the ante in this case.
All right.
And make sure that we have more technological capability to aid in forestalling and even identifying who these criminals are.
Give me a moment, Governor Muftwang. We'll go on a break, but when we come back, there are more critical questions as to how we can permanently secure the people on the plateau, especially the lessons from these for the nation, and how we can keep our nation more peaceful from these very dangerous men who killed innocent children, women, and fathers in their sleep in the dead of the night and take them out of their businesses. Innocent people who have committed no crimes. We'll be back after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Governor Caleb Muftwang has been speaking with us over the killings that we saw. One on the 28th of April and the other one on the of March, and the other one on the 2nd of April, which has left over 50 people killed, more people injured, and left hospitalized, and about 2,000 more people have been displaced in about 6 communities of Boko's local government area of Plateau State. That local government area, it's about an hour to 30 minutes or thereabout drive from Jos, the Plateau State capital, where the governor has been speaking with us tonight. Governor Muftwang, my big question to you tonight is that how do you hope to take advantage, tilling the land and ensuring that you take ownership? Because if they came for the land, and if the land is already occupied and is being in active production, this could be a deterrent to them, because if they came for the benefit from the land and they are not able to occupy or get it, are you thinking about actively engaging in what could have been the target of these assailants?
Yeah, the challenge shown is that when I hear people say that this is farmers herders clash or is indigenous settler problem, I respect such experts, but I think their knowledge is stale, because these things evolve, these things are dynamic. At the moment, what we're dealing has nothing to do with farmers herders clash or indigenous settler issues. What we're dealing with is pure criminality, it is genocide, it is terrorism. Now, if you know that Sheun has a problem with me, I can sit down with Sheun and say, let's talk. But where you do not know the person you're dealing with is faceless and he attacks and runs away, who do you discuss with? These are the questions. So it becomes quite problematic when people are talking about non-kinetic solutions. We're dealing with trying to create an enabling environment for everybody to feel free, that you have a right of entitlement. And the beauty of Plateau State is that wherever you settle and you need a piece of land to farm, the community is willing and ready to give you land to farm, as long as you respect their customs and their norms. So anybody who is coming for peace shouldn't have problems whatsoever. I can say that for every community on the plateau. I grew up here and I know the tendencies of my people. Now, but what we are dealing with now is that it seems that there are more external forces that are trying to destabilize Plateau State. And let me say this and sound it clear, that there are even some irresponsible politicians who try to take advantage of these kind of situations to insinuate that it is failure, perhaps on the part of government. You know, this has been a recurring decimal. I'm not sure there's any governor who has ruled Plateau that has not had to deal with it, but our approaches are different. Now, everybody here on the Plateau knows the efforts we have made to maintain peace since the December episode, and we have succeeded largely. Confidence is returning to the state. People are coming in their numbers. Sometimes you come into Plateau State at the weekends, you can hardly find a hotel to sleep because our room occupation rate has shot up. Now, people have a vested interest in trying to make sure that Plateau is demarcated so that we don't occupy our place in the scheme of things nationally. But I can tell you that Plateau people are more determined, more resilient than they think. That we are friendly, we are willing to dialogue any day, any time with any aggrieved person. We are ready to listen to anybody who has grievances and address them. But we need to know the person. We need to know the grievances. If we do, everybody knows that we are always eager to be able to have that conversation and a handshake across tables. But the frustration is that we are dealing with faceless people, sponsored by faceless people, who are yet to be revealed by the security agencies. Have you asked yourself, Sherwood, the kind of monies that are exchanging hands for ransom in kidnapping? When you catch some of the kidnappers, you cannot identify them with the kind of monies that they collected. There is nowhere they could have kept those monies, except that they remitted them to some people who are more powerful than they are. We need to go beyond that. And the security agencies need to help us to
Governor
know
Muftwang,
who are the sponsors of this crisis.
You were a local government chairman. So when it comes to local politics, understanding the local people, you do understand. And now you are a governor. Now, the question here is, the president has called you. And in speaking with you, what did you ask him? What specifically would you say is the solution that you are seeking?
Yeah, I did speak with the president. He called, and I was quite encouraged by his call. He has never hidden the fact that he wants to put these ugly episodes behind him. And he has given us all the support. Of course, the president will be asking me, what else can we do? And at the moment, we have to look at it both in phases. What can we do in the immediate? And the immediate is to be able to reinforce our deployments in a more strategic manner. We need more boots on the ground because you know that we have very large borders. And Bokos particularly has a very treacherous terrain where access to some of these communities are not fantastic. One of the things we have resolved is to aggressively embark on opening up the rural space so that there will be better ease of movement. We are also thinking we'll need to talk with the telecom operators to see how we can be able to deploy more telecommunication facilities there, because ordinarily they wouldn't go to such places because it has no commercial value. But I think we have to take responsibility as government to see how we can facilitate communication in some of those areas. Going beyond that, we need to also reconscientize the communities. They are not going to give up. They are not going to give up their lands. They are not going to run away. And so if they must go back and live in their communities, the rules of engagement have to change. And therefore, we'll be asking Mr. President to accelerate the process of state police and make sure that all that is needed to be able to ensure the takeoff of state police is facilitated.
Because I'm wondering your definition of state police. You say you are worried about putting arms and ammunition in the in the hands of the vigilantes. On the other hand, you want state police. What is your definition of state police, and how will it help in this kind of situation?
Well, state police, Sheun, is an official structured organization that is under supervision. It's not amorphous, it's not fluid. Now, sometimes these vigilantes who are volunteers, you cannot fully control them. But where you have a state police, is a structured system that you know is accountable. And therefore, whatever assets you put in their hands, they will be able to account for it. The issue is the ease of command. The ease of command. Now, you are going to be bringing sometimes also people who are from far, who don't know the terrain, and before they adapt to the terrain, they themselves have become victims. Don't forget that even some of the security personnel sometimes become victims of these reinforcements because they are not familiar with the terrain. Now, the question, the fear people have expressed always is the possibility of misuse of state police, especially given the level of development in our polity. This again, we cannot continue to be ruled by fear. We must find a solution to conquer that fear and make sure that there's a federal machinery that effectively supervises the state police.
Yeah. Governor Muftwang, just about 10 or 20 seconds for us to close the program. If I have the powers right now to give you a superpower in protecting the people of Plateau State, what kind of power would you speak to if you have the opportunity to decipher or ask for one superpower to protect, which perhaps may not be your power as a governor right now? What would it be that you think you need to be able to protect your people effectively? Just in 10 seconds for us to close.
Thank you. All we ask is that the security agencies who have been charged with responsibility to protect lives and property continue to work with us. Let's intensify our
So guys, you have heard what the governor of Plateau State has come out to say. It appears this man does not even get intelligence, if I'm to say. He does not still know why his people are being pied. He said it is the security agencies that are yet going to unravel. So since this governor came into office, he has been doing nothing. He has been doing nothing as to even get to why his people have been banned. Remember that the former governor, who is an APC member, while he was in office, the people of Jos decided to vote him out, thinking that it's because of him being reluctant. That's why the Fulanis were buying them. Now they voted in this governor, but I tell you, this governor appears to even be the worst. He's leaving it at the hands of the security agencies to unravel why his people are being buyed. Now, this governor came into office. He met this spying on ground. Since then, he gets security updates every day. And he's still saying that he doesn't know why his people are being spied. He has not made any attempt. He has not even tried to go to the north. They call north, to talk to them. He has not hosted any meeting. There is no proactive measure being taken by this governor to end the spying by the Fulanis. The Fulani headers or armed terror Fulanis. He's even saying that these people do not speak any of the Nigerian languages. So how do they come into the country? Is it not time for this governor to know that there is a collusion, between the security agencies and these people? Because how will, a non-Nigeria speaking Fulanis come into Nigeria from the border? Nobody stops them. Nobody has intelligence. Nobody knows they entered, and they will come to ransack 64 communities in Plateau State. Plateau State, 64 communities, and for them it is nothing. It is nothing. This is how these things have continued, and this man is claiming innocence. He's claiming innocence. He's claiming that he does not know why this spying has continued, and he does not even want to know, because if he had wanted to know, I believe he must have been digging deep to understand why do they want to take over our land, and he has to be coming out to raise alarm. This man has not been raising alarm only for him to come and tell us 64 communities have been taken. He refused to raise alarm. He refused to speak. He refused to come out. We don't even know if Plateau State has a governor. This man has been very silent. He is a governor. He gets security updates every day. He knows that people are coming into his state. He hears that people are being buying here and there in Plateau State, but he refused to take action until now. If not for social media, that social media users are even the ones who raising alarm. You know, now when these attacks take place, people make videos and push it there on the social media, and social media users begin to, you know, forward all the tweets, and people begin to see it. That is, even the media houses are not doing their own. You know, the media houses, check how long this problem has been there. How many media houses have covered it? Have many of them have bothered going to Plateau State to even go and find out what is happening in Plateau State? You know, if not for social media, and that is why they are targeting social media to ban social media so that Nigerians cannot speak again. Now, the governor is saying he doesn't know why his people are being quiet, and the chief of defense staff has equally come out to say he himself, he thinks that political solutions are the real solution, not just the kinetic, that the kinetic cannot solve it. So you can imagine where you have such a confusion, how are things going to work? So guys, a whole lot is happening, and I'm just wondering, how did we get here in this country that people will just, these things cannot happen in Ghana, it cannot happen in minor and smaller African countries. It's only in Nigeria where people seek political gain for the lives of their people. You know, it does not matter. So you can imagine how, tell me how the northern leaders do not know that people are passing through their borders and coming down to the middle belt, coming down to the southeast. If you allow these people, they will get to the southeast, you know, they will get to other places, and when they come to these communities, they rename these communities and begin to live there. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. I'm just wondering if we have leaders. We don't. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.